Hi all, welcome to the channel. I want to show you what I've got planned for the next few weeks, really, in the coming months after that. I've got a remortgage that's coming up for my home, my main home, and I've been mulling over whether or not I should be overpaying my mortgage, or would it be better if I invested the money in shares, stock shares. So I've got a couple of websites that hopefully will give some decent information on where best to drop that money in and where I'm going to get the most money back out, basically. So the first page is for the overpayment calculator on Money Saving Expert. If I fill in these details, my mortgage at the moment is £86,000. That's what I've got left, and I've got 19 years. I'm just remortgaging it at the moment. 86,000, 19 years, and I've got an interest rate of 4.05%. Now, what I'm mulling over doing is putting in an extra £500 to try to get that paid off much earlier than 19 years. Now, if I calculate that, it comes up with a nice couple of lines really showing an example of how much it would be as the years go by, how much would be left over on the mortgage until we hit the 19 years. And in the blue one, you've got how much it would be with that extra £1,000 overpayment. If you look further up as well, it actually also gives you how much it thinks you're going to be paying a month, which is bang on £1,040 a month. So £1,040 a month plus the 500. After year 2, I'm only going to have 67,000. Year 5, 36,000 left. And when we get to year 8, I'll just have 1,000 left. So I'll have virtually all paid off. Just 1,000 left out of the 86,000. So option number 1 is make that £1,000 overpayment in 8 years, mortgage free, happy days. Option number 2, if we go to the calculator site, fantastic site, there is a calculator on here with compound interest that you can pop in how much you're likely to get as a return if you put the money that you've got into stocks and shares. Now, if I fill these details in, initial investment being 0, S&P 500, which is a great example of what a lot of people put their money into, over the last 100 years has averaged out about 10% earnings per year increase. Obviously, some years it goes up, some years it goes down, but on an average, it's around 10%. So to play safe, I'm going to put on here that I'm only getting a 5% yearly return. I'll put in again 19 years on here, and the deposit's going to be the £1,040 mortgage plus the 500 obviously overpayment, so altogether that'd be 1,040. So if I was able to put in the full amount, I had no mortgage at all, and I was just putting the 1,040 and calculated that, it would come up with, after 19 years, I would have £396,000 in my account, basically. Now, if you remember, after 8 years, it says here that I would have paid off the mortgage. I would have saved £22,000 in interest, total repayment 101,000, and it would all be paid off after 8 years. Now, if you go onto the compound interest calculator, after 8 years, instead of the 86,000 or 85,000, 1,000 left over, I'd actually have earned £122,958. Amazing, fantastic. So for me, it makes much more sense to pay any extra money I've got into investments. I mean, obviously, there's no guarantee you're going to get a 5%. It may be more, it may be less. Actually, that's saying initial investment -1. That's different. That's 1. That should be 0. But anyway, it won't make much difference. There we go. Now, obviously, I've got to pay the £1,040 the mortgage already. The only amount I'm able to put into the stocks and shares is £500. So if I put £500 in, so I'm paying the mortgage off, I'm not paying anything extra overpayments, and I'm putting £500 in to the stocks and shares at 5%, 8 years, £59,115. So literally, you could pay off. If you look at obviously 8 years, if I didn't make a payment, it'd be 58,000, so you'd be 1,000 up. But that's only putting £500 in, and that's only at 5% as well. Obviously, if that was the more traditional, more expected 10% rate, you would see that after 8 years go up to £73,699. So you'd have quite a bit of surplus. Another nice thing about putting in an investment is, let's say after 3 years, you're working away, 2 years, you've only got 67,000, 3 years, you've only got 57,000 with all the overpayments, but then suddenly you lose your job, you get injured, you're not able to work. Well, you've still got £57,000 to pay on your mortgage, you're still paying £540 a month, and you've got nothing in the bank. You're in trouble. But if you invested that money after 3 years, 4 years, you've got 20 odd £1,000 in the bank, where if you absolutely need to, you could sell shares within a few minutes. You've got that money back into your account, and you can carry on and survive the period until obviously you can find yourself another job. So for me, again, I'm not a financial advisor. You've got to do your own due diligence on this. This is just what I'm planning on doing. But I think it makes more sense to put any money that you've got, get into some safe stocks, maybe an ETF. As I said, do your own due diligence, look into it, but get that money invested monthly, whatever you can afford, get it in there, and I think, as I said, that you will earn more money that way than you did if you did an overpayment on the mortgage. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for listening. See you again soon. All the best.